9, 8, 7, 3. Come on, people. Woohoo! Let's start this thing. Launch that rocket.
That's gonna work great, man. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woohoo! Launch.
Hey everybody, greetings and welcome to season 4 of IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm New York Pete. This is my best friend Chris with the 4 fingers up, the Tipsy Toaster.
At least it's not the 1 finger up, right?
That's right. We want to thank you for tuning in to our news and pop culture sci-fi entertainment channel. Full disclosure, Chris and I grew up watching all those great 70s and 80s, TV, movies, comics, and cartoons. And we bring that with us here to the show. We also happen to be big Battlestar Galactica fans. Starting,
Huge,
of course,
just
with
huge.
Classic Battlestar and moving forward from there. So welcome to our corner of the universe. We have great guests. We have our news anchor and associate producer, John One, waiting in the wings. He put together a really cool deck of what's great out there, what he's looking at, what we should be looking at, giving us some background on that, and we have some updates. So before we get too heavily into things,
Yes.
let's do our customary toast.
I forgot to get my beer glass.
Got to get your
Un
beer.
momento, por favore.
Okay,
Those
well,
Italian people out there.
all right, so let's just
Un
make
momento.
sure. I hope everybody got a chance to check out our last broadcast. The Tipsy Toaster is now back. All right, that was quick. We had a really, really great show with Lorette Spang, her son and her daughter, talking about their experiences with...
There we go. No, are we locked up again? I didn't do it this time, Pete. Pete locked up. John's still there. John's seriously on the phone. Can you hear me, John? Okay. I just make sure. Pete dropped. It wasn't me. Wasn't me this time, Pete. Sorry. Meanwhile, we'll wait for Pete to show up. So Pete was probably talking about beer, which is the most important piece right now. And tonight, my beer is Flying Dog Lucky SOB. Unfortunately, Pete is not a lucky SOB. He's having problems with his computer, evidently. So that's Irish Red Ale. It is, I saw him jump, so he's here. Hey, Pete.
I'm here. Hey, what's up?
This is a Irish-style ale brewed with 4-leaf clovers. Really? That's interesting.
Oh, that's going to taste good. That's going to taste real good.
Well, I don't know if it's going to taste any good because it's brewed in Ithaca, New York.
It tastes even better. Makes it taste even better, man.
I don't think so. But it's 5.5% alcohol by volume, and it says, "You lucky bastard."
Oh, that's awesome. I love
FlyingDog.com. We don't make any. We're not sponsored by Lucky Dog or Flying Dog Brewery, but Lucky Dog Brewery. If you are a Flying Dog Brewery, you're out there. Send us more beer. We'll drink it.
Well, I'm glad to see.
What do you got?
I got the fix, man. I'm in on
You over
the
there?
fix on this one.
You
Bam,
getting a fix?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Pete's over in the corner getting a fix, man.
One of my favorite all-time 80s bands, The Fix.
Oh, yeah.
They spell with 2 X's. The Fix.
Not to be confused with the
guys,
Broke.
That's right.
But did the Fix go broke?
Maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Did they make it? I don't know. I'll have to look that up later.
there is a lot to announce. We got a lot of stuff.
Yep.
I was in the process of telling everybody that.
And then you dropped out. It wasn't me.
Yeah,
because John was still here.
I was so excited. I was so excited to tell everyone that they had to go check out our interview with Lorette Spang and
it was amazing.
McCook, and it was great. We have over 15,600 views.
Holy crap!
So it's really, really cool.
Wow.
So, and we did talk a little bit about you guys brought up Battlestar Galactica a little bit.
Yes,
and she's coming back.
I think we're going to try to get her to come back. I think we're pretty good with her coming back, and she's going to help us get a hold of Jack Stauffer as well, because we haven't heard from Jack in forever, ever since the accident. So
maybe
we did a fundraising for Jack, and I don't know if it's still out there or not, but we can definitely check that out. I'll reach out to Jack through her and find out what's going on as well. Maybe we can also get Sarah on too, Sarah Rush.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of things to go over. In the meantime, let's do our toast.
There's our toast. Here's my beer glass.
Ready? Okay, let's go. I've got
Blue Squadron
today. I got Dr. McCoy.
Oh, what's that one say? I'm a doctor, not a what?
Not a bricklayer.
Not a podcaster either. All right, so.
All right,
brother.
One,
let's go.
1,
2,
3. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's do this. Oh, it smells like grass. Ready?
4-leaf clover. Yep. Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah. Go.
Ooh, it's dark. It's darker than normal.
Fix beer, or what is that? The 4-leaf clover. If you guys are out there, we are
Flying Dog Brewing Company. Let me know.
Yeah, we are open to sponsors. So
we are buying your beer for free and giving you free advertisement. You can throw us some extra beer for free. We would freely talk about your beer again. I don't know. I'll get there somewhere.
We have a couple lined up, a couple of affiliations. But in the meantime, we have a toast.
Yes,
we do. We have a toast to our fans, right?
Yes,
because
our Battlestar brothers and sisters out there, and as well as our runners and seekers of sanctuary and all those others out there that are, it would be another one. Come on, I'm drawing a blank. All you Planet of the Apes, maybe all you apes or you humans out there, all you Furiosa fans, here's to you. We like to say that the fans do fuel the fleet, and it's important that we recognize that.
Absolutely. Here's to you guys. All right, look, Chris, there's a bunch of our regulars that are on.
I feel like a goat. Yeah.
Yes, it's all grass. Eric Ryder, George Giacomis is in the house. Professor Patton, thank you for coming by, man. We missed you. Superfan Fran, Jot Holly, Lola, of course. Eric Engler, man. Eric, how are you?
Wow, I haven't seen Eric in forever, buddy.
Award-winning author Dorian Keyes. Dorian, our very own. Clayton and Michael Morlock, Jack. Let's see. I know that Chris Laskowski is on as well from Down Under. Thanks for joining us. And so you guys, I always like to recognize refugees. Oh boy, that must be from one of the shows as well. So thanks for dropping in, guys. And Chris, let's thank everybody for watching us later.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
if you're watching us live, great. If you're watching us later, hi.
Yes. Thank you. Right. 15,600 viewed the Lorette Spang interview that you did with Tiny Bean. We want to thank everybody for the numbers and stopping in and watching. It was a great interview. If you haven't seen it, please go back and watch it. Please hit the like button
and check out the book. It really is a good book. I mean, the book is quite amazing. You get the view of a mother, a view of a son who has, and then you get the view of some of his chapters that are just what he felt or saw that day. It's amazing. Yeah. And then that was, as we in the interview we were talking, she was Lorette was like, when she went to publishers, she's like, you can change anything in the book, but you can't change those chapters.
Right.
So
Right.
that was cool.
Susan, thanks for joining us live here on IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. We have a guest in the wings, Mr. Graham Nolan,
Yay,
who's well
Graham.
known
He's
in
there. I
comic
see him.
book circles. So let's get John 1 on. Let's do
Sure.
our
Come on,
update
John.
with
Oh, wait a
John
minute.
1.
We got to have John's theme music, too.
Yeah, you gotta have. Oh yes, John has new theme music, guys. So listen up. We're gonna have some fun with that.
John's got his own music. Hang on.
His own intro music.
You moved, Pete. I gotta fix you. Hang on. Before we do, Pete, we gotta do the intro music hang on. Gotta fix Pete first so we can dance.
Yes. And I hope
1 second. Layers. There's Pete because the last week.
Fix it.
Yeah, we're getting there. I'm not gonna be able to get that thing in the background. There you are. There you are. Oh, too big, too small. Good.
You see my new neon? That's my birthday present. See that in the back there? It's IFB New York Pete.
I do this to you, Pete, but I gotta go here, which cuts it out.
Okay. Later, I want you to show that. Thanks, George.
And it's time for the Space
What's up, John?
Chronicles.
Hey, what's going on?
Ready, John?
Thanks.
Here you go, John.
Pete.
Thank you.
Here you go, John. Here's your theme song.
Oh.
John's on the beat, reporting all the sci-fi news with his typewriter clacking, bringing news. He's got the scoop on galaxies far and wide, covering the stars, taking us on a cosmic ride. He's a wordsmith, weaving tales of distant planets, from robots to aliens. He's got the knack for it with every keystroke. He paints a vivid scene. His words transport us to worlds we've never seen. Tune into John's rhythm, his typewriter symphony, as he narrates the wonders of science fiction for you and me. His words dance off the page, take it flight.
Hey, shit.
In the universe of imagination, he's our
Guiding light.
Oh, wow. I see myself running down the street like a promo with a microphone in my hand while this song goes on.
Yeah, it's like 80s, like classic 80s. Yeah. Really, yeah. I love it, man. So, John,
kind of like that Shaft version of me chasing by the story.
Yeah.
Shaft.
Shaft.
Dorian has disavowed. He has no knowledge of this. Not involved in this.
This is not done by Dorian. It would have been. It would have been 10 times or 100 times better if it would have been done by Dorian. But
Dorian's busy doing some other real stuff. But Baz is with us. Baz, thank you for joining from down under. Thank you very much, sir. Sit back and enjoy. We're going to have our update from John 1. John, what do you got?
Yep. Good day, everybody. I just got back from seeing Furiosa. It was okay. It was
everybody's been poo-pooing it. I think it looks like it's... I want to see it.
I got some toilet paper. Here it comes. It was kind of... It was a story. Some it could have been fast-paced. It could have been better. Some of it was like you could have kind of understand it. But Mad Max Fury Road, it wasn't. I thought the first one was better. Sorry, it's George Miller, but that's how I thought about it. But it was good action scenes, some pretty good violence. It was good. Chris Hemsworth was good. His wife was actually in it. If you don't see it, she's the makeup girl that works with him. Got the big scar on her. That's his wife. There's a couple Easter eggs in there too, so it was pretty good.
But, I'm gonna try to go see that this weekend.
It was okay. We have some good news. Shows returning this time. My wait will soon be over. With our first show, Disney's The Acolyte will premiere 2 episodes June 4th. This looks pretty good. Good actors in it. Good storyline. It's like a beginning of the ending of the High Republic, when the Sith first start to come, and I think students getting killed. And they're finally trying to know who it is, and they finally people working for a Sith, so we don't know which Sith Lord it's going to be. And
Jar Jar.
What am I connection? Well, there's gonna be a bankable character in it. So someone's some Yoda or something, and if that's
Jar
true,
Jar.
I'm really gonna be mad.
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar's gonna be the Sith Lord. There's gonna be a Jar Jar Sith Lord.
Good.
Yep,
He's
there's a thing. There,
Good.
go look it up. You go look it up. There's a pretty good.
canon lore.
Yep.
It's a good storyline with Jar Jar as a Sith Lord.
Yep.
So I would see that. Be for you. Now die. That would.
Misa
So.
Sith Lord. Yes.
But still, new Star Wars series is good, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. So if there is a bankable character like Yoda, I'll get over it. And Sweet Tooth is back for its third and final season. Hopefully, he gets all his answers. I just couldn't get into the series, and how many I tried.
The first season was great. Second season, I didn't get into it.
Nah,
I've
the
tried
third one
again.
is this one. They wrap everything up. So this will be on Netflix June 6th. And The Boys are back for season 4. Amazon's The Boys will air June 13th.
Whoa.
Homelander is getting stronger. Butcher's almost on months from surviving. His team is all broke up, so he has to try to scramble everything to get everyone together to fight Homelander. And there's 3 new superheroes on it. I think 2 are from the comic, 1 is made up. So it's looking pretty good. I'm going to enjoy seeing that. And it's already renewed for season 5, so you know that's how good that show is. And that's going to air on Amazon Plus June 13th.
Did you say they already
we will
renewed
see.
for season 5?
Season 5. Season 5.
This is only season 3, right?
We're going to season 4 now.
4. Okay, yeah.
Yep. So they just renewed it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's going to be good. And
Yeah.
House Targaryen is at war with each other on who's going to control the kingdom, as we will see in HBO's House of the Dragon season 2, which will kick off June 9th. I kind of like the series. It's good. There's good actors in it and good action. So probably see more fighting with dragons now too. So it's going to be pretty good. Viserys. Hopefully the prelude to the Mad King will be in there, but we don't know. I think it's 200 years before Game of Thrones, so we'll see. But hopefully get more of the lore and the storybooks in there from the storyline. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll see it's good. And The Watchers will be directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter,
Ooh.
Shayna.
Huh.
Maybe she will do a cameo like her father, like father like son. It's going to be one of those movies that are weird. It's about a 28-year-old artist who gets stranded in the Western Ireland woods, and she finds 3 other people, and then they find shelter, and they're trying to find like these mysterious creatures that are trying to kill them at night. So every night these monsters go after them. So I don't know what the catch is or the flip
Sounds like
side
Shenandoah National
it
Park.
is, but on my time up in Rainier, I was like, oh, scary. It gets dark and scary up there. So it should be good. Hopefully it'll be good. So we'll see. I'll see that. I'll see how daughter. Let's see if daughter's like father. And that's coming out June 7th. Matthew Vaught wants to direct a new Superman, Red
Whoa.
Sun,
Whoa.
with Henry Cavill as a commie Superman, and
Wow.
you can see Red Sun on HBO Max. It's really good. Good storyline.
Huh. Really?
It is. Yeah.
Where
Yep.
can you see this?
On HBO Max, it's called Red Sun. It's animated. DC is pretty good for the animated
Really?
movies.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that one.
Yep.
I've never
It's
heard of
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never
it's
heard
good.
of that one.
And if Henry Cavill is going to go on to do it, it'd be great. That'd be a good movie. DC would really be a winner with this one. So
Still waiting for his
Hope it
other movie
happens.
that we talked about. What was it?
40K, man.
40K. Yeah, Street Become.
40K, yeah.
And
He's still
Highlander.
working on it. Highlander 2 is coming up pretty completion too. He's working on that now too. There's a Highlander fan page now with him on it, so they're giving the information on it.
Ooh.
So there's some
There
good
can
stuff.
be only
He's working
one.
on both.
Or maybe
That's
2.
right. Nope.
Okay.
Only one.
Or 2.
Only one, Henry Cavill. But that we can see that's gonna be good. Those remakes. But Warhammer, looking forward to. That's really gonna be good.
Yeah. Whoa.
But that was what happened. Giancarlo Esposito is just great. He's a great actor. He's everywhere now. He's really going to the fantasy, MCU, Star Wars. Moff Gideon was awesome.
Doctor Doom.
Mediocre Model. Mediocre Model did his outfit too. He was pretty good, Mediocre Model.
He looks a lot like
Right.
Mediocre Modeler, though. I can say that
Mm.
much.
Well,
he recently let out
Esposito
some-
looks like mediocre modeler.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
vice versa. Versa
No,
vice.
no. Mediocre model is
He recently-
watching, just so you know.
Yeah.
But it's true. They look a lot alike. It's a good cosplay for them.
He looks cool in it. I'll tell you
Yeah,
now.
he does. He does look
Yeah.
good in it.
Oh yeah.
That Moff Gideon outfit he did was great.
Yeah, that's what we're talking
Breastplate and
about.
everything.
Wow.
Like, oh, good job. Good job, Minio Kamado. But he recently had an interview, and he recently leaked that he might be playing a classic Marvel character. And people are thinking that he might play either Doctor Doom or Magneto. And
Really?
he'd be great. He'd be
Didn't they
great.
already
in
have a
both.
Magneto?
Either one.
Yes.
Yeah.
They already had a
Either one.
Magneto.
But I think he might be going towards Doctor Doom. He'd be great as Doctor
Oh,
Doom.
Yeah.
Great guy. But he
Oh my God.
really is a good actor, and I love to see that. Either one, I'd like to see. So he's working on it now, and pretty soon he's going to come out. And I don't know, it's probably going to be out next year, maybe Avengers or something. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, let's see. And where am I? Oh God, can't remember my handwriting. All right, get to find it. Guy Ritchie is bringing a Young Sherlock series to Amazon. You know, he did the 2 movies, Sherlock Holmes. It's his own little thing, but now it's going to be another Young Sherlocks. Young Indiana Jones, Young Sherlock. It's always something, nothing new and creative. But young Sherlock Holmes is going to learn to be a young guy, and they made a movie about that a couple of years ago. Young Sherlock Holmes. Actually, it was called Young Sherlock Holmes. But he's bringing this to Amazon, and that should be done within next year. He's in development now, doing everything. So maybe 2026 will be coming to Amazon. So okay. And Stephen King has released a new book. It's called You Like It Darker. It's a collection of short stories. Some of the stories he said it actually took him 50 years to finish.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, that's a short
he did the
story
same.
that took you 50 years to finish. That's not so short.
Yeah. He did something for the Bachman books, so all short stories too. But
Yeah.
I try reading Stephen King books, and I just fall asleep, and I just wait for the movie, like everyone else.
The short stories were good though. When he did those, the short story good. They're really good.
Yeah.
Any of
the
those
Bachman,
that he
it was the Bachman stories, right? The Bachman,
Gunslinger.
Gunslinger was good.
Yeah.
And they're actually going to bring that to a series. I think they're going to bring that to. They're working on a series for Amazon for Gunslinger.
Really?
Yeah, I was reading about it here and there, but I'm looking it up. The guy that did what's that movie? The horror guy, Mike Flanagan is working on it. So we'll see.
Interesting.
And we have some upcoming cons coming up. Brooklyn Comic Con is June 8th to 9th. Comic Book and Non-Sporting Car is June 8th at Annandale, Virginia. Route 110 Comic Show is June 16th in Melville, New York. And Long Island Trek Con will be this weekend, May 31st to June 2nd.
Oh,
TrekCon.
wow.
I don't think we've
Long
heard of
Island
that
Trek.
one.
Yeah.
Me,
Long
me
Island
and
Trek,
Pete
we
went to it.
went.
Oh, that's right. Last year.
Did it?
I thought you said
And-
TrekCon, Long Island
Long Island Trek Con.
TrekCon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget that July 20th on Saturday, John and I are going to the Cerebral Palsy Association of Nassau County for the 3rd annual Sci-Fi Mini Convention at Levittown Hall. We are obviously named as a part of the crew, the special guests that will be there. And we're supporting our very own Mr. Chris Fian, the commander of the Empire City Garrison, the 501. And so we're going to raffle off a really cool collectible biker scout on the bike itself. It's like the G.I. Joe size. It's in the box, brand new. And all the proceeds will be going to Cerebral Palsy, to the association that is behind this mini-con. So we'll be broadcasting and doing interviews live. We'll have a table there, courtesy of the powers that be, which is basically Mr. Chris Fian. So thank you for doing that. We will be there to support. It's a good charity, and
It should be. Yeah, it's a good charity and it's a great event.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get up there, but
Yep.
I'm going up there for school here shortly, so for a couple weeks.
Let's see if we can work it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Hey, you know what? I wanted to quickly congratulate and toast His Excellency, the new ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce for Northern Ireland, who is Mr. Dr. Chris Macaulay.
So
Here's to you, sir.
Do we have to do the finger thing now?
Yeah. Got to do the finger thing because he's an ambassador now. So here's to you, Mr.
sir.
Ambassador.
Congratulations.
Yes, His Excellency.
Sip, sip. You don't guzzle. You,
Oh no, that's I gotta do it again. Okay.
small sip.
Mhm. There you go. That is the correct
go.
etiquette when you're dealing with ambassadors.
Yes.
So he's now an ambassador. So I'm waiting for him to get knighted, though. That was, I had a little back and forth on whether he's His Eminence, His Excellency, or Grand Lord.
Knighted,
Poobah.
also
yeah,
known as
so I was-
Bean. Bunk.
yeah, we had to going through all of his, doctor, all these different titles he's got, but he got a good laugh at that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that IFB Interfleet Broadcasting is co-sponsoring prizes for the Thompson Avenue Film Festival in Queens, New York, which is going to be held June 4th. So we donated a lot of the promotional things that were given to us here on IFB, and so we've passed that all on as prizes. And so good luck to all the filmmakers and screenwriters that are going to be part of the Thompson Avenue Film Festival. So good luck to all you guys out there. And I don't know. I think that's pretty much what I got on the plate. Jaquette, thank you for tuning in. Janet Jenkins, thank you for tuning in. Let's see. As I catch you guys, I like to mention who's with us live. And again, thank you to everybody that watches us later. I was impressed, right, John? 15,600 plus viewers on our
doubled that.
interview. Yeah,
It doubled that.
So,
It's 35,000 right now from what I'm looking at.
yeah, it's
35,000.
It's just insane.
What?
So
No.
we've done
Yeah.
really, really well. Thank you everybody for watching
Can't
and
believe it.
tuning in. Yeah, it's really cool. In the
Let's see,
meantime, we have, I believe, Chris, you said that our guest tonight, our special guest, is with us.
He is surely with us.
He is a physically, hopefully mentally. However, Inkpot Award-winning writer, artist,
35,000
and
views.
insane.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy. But
Good job.
Yep. Graham Nolan is also the publisher of his own Compass Comics, and so we're gonna have him come on as soon as we are ready, and he's gonna tell us all about where he's going with his the different lines, the series that he has. He's got a website. We're gonna find out where to get this stuff. Hopefully he's going to be doing some appearances, give us some scoops on some of the new stuff that's coming out, and why set up your own publishing. Why do you publish your own comic books? Why would you do that? Well-established artist and writer in his own right. And so hopefully he'll give us a little background as to why he branched off and he's doing that.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
I
John,
have a
for
lot
setting
of
this up.
his comics.
Yeah, you're a big fan. I know, John. Thank you.
I have a couple of his Batman comics that he did. Bane,
Oh, cool.
Batman.
Wow.
He's a writer for DC. Great guy. Great artist.
Very cool. Very
And I want
Sharing
what you
the-
knew.
Sharing talents
Awesome.
with the rest of us.
That's
amazing.
right.
Yep.
All right,
All
John 1. Thanks for the update.
All right, guys.
Take care, John.
Thank you.
Well,
right,
I'll
guys,
work
have a
on
good
the intro music a little better. So we'll see if
We'll
we
be
can
singing
yeah,
later
yeah,
on.
yeah.
All
a
right.
little better.
Oh, by the way, Professor Padden
Got one
says
song.
Professor Padden says that it should be like three-eyed or no, four-eyed singers with two mouths.
Oh, the
the
Toucan
Tucana
Sisters.
sisters should be
Tucana
up on
Sisters,
stage
yes.
singing.
I don't know if I'm that good, but I'll work on it. Okay, going to school for video stuff. I'll work on it.
Excellent.
Thanks, John.
All
Thanks,
right, guys.
John.
Have a good night.
And stand by, and we're good.
Bye. All right, and here he is, Mr.
Hello.
Graham Nolan. How are you?
Hello there. It's nice to
Welcome
be here.
IFB. Oh, fantastic. Well, thanks. Thanks for taking the time out. As hopefully you heard, our very own John 1 is a very big fan of yours. He's been collecting your work now for a while. You're doing all kinds of different things, but why don't you give our audience a little bit about your background before we get into some of the questions as to why, but just give everybody a little a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I fell in love with comics when I was like 12 years old. And from that point on, I knew exactly what I wanted to do in my life. So I went to the Kubert School. I took high school courses, college courses in art. And then I went to the Kubert School and learned the business of art, of comics in particular. Um, I've been working at DC and Marvel Comics. This is my 40th year in the business. I was senior Batman illustrator for DC Comics for 6 years, 8 years, something like that. Co-created Bane, the
Wow.
villain from the Batman movies and the Batman comics.
Sure.
And then, I got a little disenchanted with the business and the way things were going. So I decided I wanted to do the kind of comics I want to read, not the kind of stuff that was being published. So I started Compass Comics, and I've been doing that now, and I'm much happier.
Graham, does that, now that you have, you've been working in the industry forever, and you're well respected, doing and creating now your own thing, right? I mean, you're powerful enough, both mentally and in terms of where you find yourself, that you could say, hey, you know what, guys? Yeah, I'm going to do my own thing. But is there a repercussion to all this?
No, because the comic industry is sinking like the Titanic. So,
Wow.
so yeah, sales are down. And nobody's interested in their products anymore, but people still love comics. And so I don't want to work for them. So I don't. There is no repercussion because there's nothing they can do. All they can do is not hire me, and I don't want to be hired by them anyway. So I do the kind of stuff. Nature abhors a void, and there's a void. And the comic fans want. They want good entertainment. They want fun comics. They don't want polemics. They don't want social inserts. They just want to have a few minutes to read a comic of action, adventure, and fun. And I'm filling that void. I'm finding an audience that's craving that.
Your titles are really cool. I mean, we could start Monster Island, Joe Frankenstein. We can go to, basically any of these sound fantastic. And like I'd mentioned, John One, our own news anchor and associate producer, he's a big fan of yours. He's been collecting your work from before Compass. But are you also publishing others? Do you take submissions, or for now are you just focusing on your own work?
Well, I did do an anthology book called Giant Size Two-Fisted Manly Tales. And I hired a bunch of writers. It was an anthology book, so I hired like 5 writers and 10 artists to work on that project. But primarily, I'm publishing and writing stuff for me, for my own things,
Cool. What was your
Yeah.
first? Where did you get the stories for this? How did you come up with some of this stuff? I mean, like the Ghosts of Matecumbe Key.
Mhm.
How do where does that come from? I know you don't roll out
Well,
of bed one day and write this, so give us a little background.
well, when I decided I was going to publish my own comics, I didn't feel like I wanted to compete with the superhero genre. I mean, that's pretty much covered. Marvel and DC have that locked up pretty good. There's so many other genres, and my favorite, even before I was a comic fan, I was a monster fan. I love Universal monster movies and monster magazines and that kind of stuff. So I figured I was going to launch my company and focus on comics about monsters, horror, the supernatural, science fiction, that kind of stuff. And so that's what I did. The first 2 books that I published, the first one was from 1998, was Monster Island. And that one came about because I didn't like the direction comics were going. I had young children at the time, and I felt that comics were getting too violent and too sexualized. And I couldn't give my daughters these comics that I was getting from DC, because I was under contract with DC. So they would send me everything they published. And the books my mom used to be able to pick up for me as a kid, I wasn't able to give my girls because, they just were too much. So I wanted to write an all ages comic and harken back to the great adventure strips that were in the newspapers that everybody in America read, adults and children. And so rather than that pejorative term of all ages, meaning you're writing for kids, I took it to mean you write for everybody. You write a story that adults will enjoy and kids will enjoy, but they'll enjoy it on a different level. And so that's what I started with, was Monster Island. And then, I went back. The timing was wrong for that in 1998. The market was starting to crash. The speculator dollars were leaving the business. And so, I did other things. I worked in newspaper strips for 13 years for King Features. And I got back into comics again, freelancing for various companies. And again, I was disillusioned by what was going on in the business. So I decided, well, crowdfunding is a thing now. I thought I'd give it a shot. And I had two properties that I had already shopped around to other publishers. Then they turned them down. The first one was the Chenoo, and the second one was Alien Alamo. And so I turned those first two books into the next line in my Compass Comics line.
They look really cool. So
Alien
how
Alamo.
do you? Yeah, I know. I mean, all right, Alien Alamo, obviously.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. That's your favorite. But some of these other ones, like, Joe Frankenstein. You take a classic character and you must have spun that into its own universe. How does that happen? How do you do that?
Well, as I said, I was a monster fan, and I love the Universal monsters. And I wanted to do, and Frankenstein was my favorite. So I wanted to do something using that character and bring it up to modern times. So I got the idea of a kid who was the last member of the Frankenstein lineage, who doesn't know that he's a Frankenstein. He's been in and out of foster homes. He thinks his last name is Pratt or Platt. And one night he's delivering pizzas to these women, but they turn out to be vampires who attack him and try to kill him. And then he's saved by this giant that comes bursting through, and it turns out to be the Frankenstein monster, who informs him that he's been watching over him and his family members for the last 300 years, sort of as a penance for the crimes that he had committed when he was created. And now Joe, his eyes are opened up to a new world. There's a world of monsters and nightmares that are real. And the bride is after Joe because he contains the codex of eternal life in his blood that his great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather had put in there. The bride doesn't have eternal life like the monster has, so she needs this blood and the monster's blood to come together to make it so that she can live forever. And so that's the basic plot of it. And there's other characters in it, werewolves and vampires and lots of fun stuff, and lots of Easter eggs for Universal Monster fans.
So the story obviously continues. This is not something that's you've only touched upon, right? The
one on the one that's campaigning right now that you're scrolling through, Joe Frankenstein 3, is the third book in the series.
Oh wow, where's it going? Where do you go?
Well,
this is 3. You must have like 6 or so.
This particular story is going to give us some backstory on the monster and Joe's great grandfather. It takes place in 1928 in the pyramids of Egypt. They're looking for a staff called the Eye of Ra, which ancient Egyptians used to destroy a vampire invasion, 6,000 years ago, whatever. And they need it because the vampire armies are rising up again in 1928. And one of the characters from the first 2 books, Lord Golgotha, we get to see how he was released onto the world in the story as well.
One of the covers there says it's a glow-in-the-dark cover?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. All right.
I did one of those with my Gosa Matacumba key. Here's the This is the glow in the dark cover.
Oh
hang on.
no!
Yeah.
Oh boy!
There we go.
No
Oh,
way!
Yeah. So here's the color cover, right?
Yeah.
And this is the glow in the dark cover. And just like those glow in the dark things we had as kids, you hold it up to
Yeah.
the light,
Yeah.
and then you turn the lights out, and it gets that kind of green glow. It's really cool.
Ooh. Oh my God! I love it. I love it. It's one of my
It'll make you feel like
favorite
a
stuff.
kid again.
Yeah. Oh my God! This is so cool. Graham, are you going to conventions? Do you do conventions?
Yeah, some years more than others. I'm so busy with my publishing schedule. I only have one on my docket right now, and that's the Garden State Comic Fest
Okay.
in June. That's in Morristown, New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's a great show.
So, perfect world, you would choose one of the books that you've done, one of the series, and you had a chance to pitch it either as a TV or Netflix or maybe Amazon or movie. Where would you go with it if you could?
Well, the easiest one to market and to sell would be the Chenoo.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
pretty straight up rated R horror film that focuses on claustrophobic terror. So that one would be a pretty easy elevator pitch, I think. Alien Alamo is a more complicated story, but it's very, very cool. I love that one. I was a big fan of The Rifleman as a kid,
Yes.
and
Oh yeah.
I love you love that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I love the relationship between Lucas and Mark, the father and son, and I wanted to do a story about a father and son's relationship in more modern times. And then, of course, I had to throw some sci-fi elements into it. And so I came up with a story about this father who is a World War II vet, because this story takes place in 1957. And he's suffering from PTSD. He's lost his wife. He's distanced from his son in their relationship. And it takes another war to bring them together. And this is the alien war that comes to their ranch. And so, yeah, that's a much more complicated and in-depth story, but it's got a lot of heart.
Wow, sounds really cool. All right, so now we know that you're going to Garden State. Is there and I know you have a shop. You got the shop up on you have a website, and it looks like you have all the stuff is up there and available. Are
Yeah.
these soft cover, hardcover?
They're soft cover, what they used to call a prestige format. That's what DC used to call this style
Okay.
of book. It's basically it's called perfect bound. These are
Nice.
thick 72-page books with a square binder, full color interiors,
Ooh.
heavy duty paper, heavy duty cardstock.
Okay.
There's like a matte finish on the cover, so it feels silky, and then there's spot UV on the logos, so there's you can see the reflection on it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, cool.
it's a really, really cool format, and it's definitely a higher quality book or comic than you're going to get from Marvel or DC, who do their saddle stitch floppies.
So, Graham, would you say that if if the fans wanted to get these autographed, that you would be open to that? Is this something that you do?
Yeah, when I'm at conventions, they bring them up, and any of my books that they get autographed for free. They've already supported
Awesome.
me, so yeah, I don't charge. When they bring up DC comic books, then I charge for signature. but anything that is a Compass Comics book is signed for free.
Awesome. Oh, that is so cool. So, do you have a campaign up now?
I do. It's the Joe Frankenstein 3 one.
Joe Frankenstein, and that's Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
Hey,
That's
Peter,
Indiegogo. Yeah.
Indiegogo.
yeah, I
Okay.
think I can play that if you want.
Yeah, but yeah, play the video. It's really cool.
Give me
All
1
right,
second.
cool. We get that right up. Oh man, this is some really, really cool stuff. You got a Compass beanie. So for those that live in the colder parts of the world, and of course, East Coast, we have a nice winter. So if anybody needs,
Oh
you
yeah.
can just jump on and get one of those, no problemo. And
Are you down in the city?
yes,
Okay. I'm up in.
All right, stand by.
all right, okay.
Let me know if you can hear it. Give me a thumbs up.
Wow, that's really cool. Well done. All right.
Thank you.
We
Yeah, that's I'm it's being co-written by me and Chuck Dixon, and the artwork on that book is Anthony Gonzalez Clark. I drew the other and co-wrote the other two Joe Frankenstein books, but I couldn't do this one because I'm working on the next Monster Island book, which is Escape from Monster Island. So while Anthony's working on this book, I'll be working on Escape from Monster Island. So I can't clone myself, so I got to get other people sometimes.
You gotta spread the love a little bit.
That's right.
Oh man. So for those that are heading out to the Garden State Convention, you will be there. You'll have obviously a table. Are you doing a panel as well, Graham?
Typically, I don't think they do panels at that show.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's one of the
but I'll
few that
have all the books that have been published already there. I'll probably bring some Chanu plushies, which are on the website. So I'll have a lot of good stuff because I can drive to this show, so I can load up my truck with stuff. It's easier than if I have to fly to shows.
Oh, I would imagine, right? What's the farthest one that you've done? Have you gone out to the West Coast at all?
Oh yeah, I've done San Diego.
Wow.
I've done Mexico City.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, the La Mole Con in Mexico City. That's a hoot.
Really?
What is that
I don't
like?
think I've even heard of that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Big Mexican contingency of comic fans.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Did not know that.
We're gonna
So
get ourselves on the list for that one.
yeah, we got to go to that. Holy mackerel. So tell us a little bit about the difference, your experience going to the Mexico one versus, a typical equal size. It can't be San Diego, but it's got to be, a larger size convention. What is that like though?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, minus the language. The fans are fans around the world, and they like their stuff. You'll see the same kind of tchotchke tables you'll see at any other convention, but they're super friendly, super nice, and they're really into their comics, which is really cool.
So you definitely would do it again if invited.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. What I didn't know the first time I went there was that pretty much the Mexican comic fandom started in the early '90s with the death of Superman and the Nightfall storyline that I did.
Wow.
So when I went there, is like there's like thousands of people that had like these Batman books that I had done and stuff because they grew up on that. Prior to that, the stuff they published was reprinted from Marvel and DC, but it was in different formats. It wasn't the traditional comic format like we get. And then after the mid '90s or early '90s, they did it the same way we did, just translated it, and that sort of gave the real rise to the comic fandom down there.
Wow. So for those that just jumped on, I want to let hello to Gunther and John and Renzel. Let me see. There's a couple others here, Graham. Sean Shallow from the Battlestar Bulletin Board. He's the admin and creator. Kim, of course. Paul and Jean, Rick, Jennifer, Baker, Diana, Finn, and Hather, and Ramon, Jose, a whole bunch, Fen and Blouston, people, Nermal, Jaquette from all over the world, are regulars from down under that always come on the show. We just had a weekend special, Graham. We had over 15,000 views. So that was a real big, successful interview that we did. Just
I would say
weekend. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody that's joining us live, we're here with Graham Nolan, award-winning writer, artist, publisher, Compass Comics, and you're headed to the Garden State Comic-Con, comic convention,
Fest.
right? Comic Fest, and that is going to be June 22nd and 23rd in Morristown, New Jersey. So anybody that's out on the East Coast or otherwise, please stop in. Definitely say hello to Graham and tell him that you watch the interview here on IFB. And I'm personally excited. I know Chris is a fan of this type of work, the kind of things that you do, Graham. I know that I am. I am really, really looking forward to getting my hands on some of this. Now, does your work, does it go through previews? Does it get into the regular comic book stores? How does that work?
No, I'm strictly crowdfunding, so I'm direct to the customer. I crowdfund all my projects on Indiegogo, and to date, I think I've raised over 900,000. I think at the end of this Joe Frankenstein 3, we'll hit 1 million raised for the various campaigns.
That's super impressive. Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very.
And what's really great about, I love the comic shops and stuff, but, there's moving forward into the future, kicking out the middleman, being the distributor, and going directly to your fan base is really important, because I have a direct contact with my fans. They have my email, they write me. If there's a problem, I can handle things for them. If they have questions, they can ask me. I get feedback directly. It's really a wonderful relationship. And then when I stream, I do streaming shows, and they come on those, and it just builds a great relationship, and I really enjoy that aspect of it.
Wow, that's so cool, though. Very, very cool. Graham, before you go, we always like to ask our guests. You've already established the fact that you're a fan, and we fans of the genres that they're involved in. Their work is always what we look for as fans ourselves, right? You bring something to the material that someone that is strictly, gun for hire, it always shows. It always shows. As good as they may be, there's always something missing. Obviously, in your work, that's not the case. But can you give us a little bit of what influenced you in terms of, movies or TV or books that you haven't mentioned? What, if anything, would you say has kind of shaped you a little bit?
Well, we're all products of our environments, the things we're exposed to. The things that I loved all show up in my work. Huge Star Trek fan, original series.
Oh, wow.
Huge Western fan. Love The Rifleman, TV. I love John Wayne movies. I love, obviously, horror movies and science fiction movies. That's all part of it. I love sports. I love baseball and football. Um, all those things, mysteries. My family's were all cops. My dad was a homicide detective, so I like crime stories and I like police stuff, police procedural stuff. Um, I love Elmore Leonard writing, John D. MacDonald, Ernest Hemingway. All those guys were influential, especially if you ever read Ghosts of Matacumba Key. You'll see those three guys
Awesome.
influence in my writing, for sure.
Very cool. All right. Well, I'm going to drop something on you then. Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Oh, I love that show. Yeah, love that show.
And, one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, always in my top three when I talk to anybody about, what TV growing up influenced you in any way. And it's always like you'd mentioned the classic Star Trek, and then of course the Night Stalker, and then eventually Battlestar Galactica. But Night Stalker's near and dear to my heart. So
yeah, Night Stalker was great. I remember when the TV movie first aired on ABC in New York, and I remember thinking I'd never seen like a vampire that was so feral, that was running around and throwing the cops in the pool in Las Vegas and all that kind of stuff. I'm used to the Bela Lugosi and all that stuff. But that was really cool. That was really cool to see, and I love Darren McGavin and the guy who played the vampire. He was in a Star Trek episode too. He played that Vulcan philosopher in that episode
that's right,
with Lincoln.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Surak, the father of Vulcan.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Vulcan philosophy. Great. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a great episode too. A lot of people poo-poo it, but I thought it was great. I loved it. Abraham Lincoln comes to life and he comes on the ship and Kirk treats him like he's the real president and extends all the courtesies, and oh yeah, my God, it was really that's a fun one.
It's one of the decent third season episodes.
Yeah.
There's not many.
Says a lot right there.
Colonel Green is in that. He's a evil guy. I got to meet the actor. It's a great character. Great character. Graham,
cool.
Yeah, man. Oh, fantastic! But
your artwork's amazing. Did you go to any schools, or did this a lot?
Yeah.
So when you write and you write your art, did you go to schools, or this kind of natural, or what?
Well, I did go. I went to the Kubert School, the Joe Kubert School, and studied under Joe for sequential storytelling, artwork, that kind of stuff. The writing stuff just happened naturally because I like to read, and I just kind of broke down stories. As a visual storyteller, you break everything down. When I'm reading books or I'm watching movies, a lot of times my mind will wander out of the narrative because I'm thinking, why did they do that? There's a much better way to do that.
Thank God I'm not the only one.
That type of thing,
Thank God I'm not the only one. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, you deconstruct.
Yep.
And that's how you can learn. I've always considered myself a writer that draws as opposed to an artist that writes.
Ooh. Oh, I like that.
That's interesting.
That's good.
Graham, we got a quick question. Let's see.
Sure.
From John. Let's see. Joe Frankenstein and Ghosts of Macambe. What comic books influenced you? Specifically, were there any comic books that influenced you in creating some of those storylines?
No, I would say not, because most of the comics I liked as a kid were primarily superhero comics.
Okay.
I like the monster movies, and so I'm inspired more by that than comic books, horror comic books per se.
Wow, that is just incredible. I love this stuff. Well, Graham, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing your thoughts and sharing your work and background. I was just I love some of this stuff, so I'll be jumping on and picking up some of your current. Um, you have some stuff going on as we speak. So if anybody's interested, uh, mediocre modeler, I know that you're a fan as well. But Chris, if you could just bring up the campaign real
Oh, yeah,
quick,
sure thing. Hang on.
so that we can. I want to make sure everybody sees that's. I'll be jumping on later on myself. That whole glow in the dark thing is just. I'm fascinated. Like you said before,
It is cool. It is cool.
it just brings back
I
memories,
love
right?
this part right here. Right here, right is 9,649% of the flexible gold meat. That's fantastic. That's good for you, sir. Good for you.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
The only thing I have
Yeah.
a problem with right now is 666 backers.
Oh, I'll be changing that. Yeah, that'll change.
We'll change that here in a couple of minutes for sure.
Oh yeah, Indiegogo. So for those of you that are
Indiegogo,
watching, thank you for joining
This-
us live, everybody. And
ahead.
just make sure that if you're interested in any of these comic books, any of Graham Nolan's work, this is an active campaign. Please go over, stop in, take a look at all the perks. There's different levels, different covers. Particularly, myself, I'm interested in that glow in the dark one, so I'll be looking at that very, very carefully after the show. So there's a lot going on there. So please keep that in mind. Please take a look at that. Graham, any final words?
Just that if you missed any of the Joe Frankensteins, there's catch-up packages in there, so where you can get all three of them together, so you can get the whole storyline up to date. And that all the other Compass Comics books that have been published are available on the Compass Comics website. The only one that's not there right now is the Return to Monster Island, because that one is actually is going to the printers this week. So and that will start fulfilling. I'll start shipping those in September.
I'm looking at the Compass Comics site. So I'm looking over at some of these covers, man. This is really, really cool stuff. Tipsy Toaster.
I
There's Two-Fisted Manly Tales that I was telling you about.
Yep. There's the hang on. Merge it over. There we go.
Oh, look at that. Fighting a werewolf.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I got the idea, I was sitting out back one summer afternoon having a cigar, and I got the idea for this thing because I'm just so sick and tired of media depictions of men in entertainment as idiots and knuckleheads, and the wives, are now driving the cars, and the guy is sitting there twiddling his thumbs like a big goofball. And I thought, we need to have some stories about men being men. And so I called some friends of mine. I said, hey, would you guys want to do this thing, Two-Fisted Manly Tales, knuckle dusting action book, that kind of stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, we got to do that. They all jumped on board. So that was a lot of fun, that project. Each story just tries to outdo itself, and it's testosterone.
That sounds great. I love it. Oh my God. So cool. All right. Well, here's to you, Graham.
Yes.
When you have your next campaign, please circle back. We'd love to have you back on and
wonderful. I would be happy to do that. I had an enjoyable time tonight, guys.
Yeah, it's fantastic to.
Are we toasting? Okay.
Yes.
I just have water.
Yeah.
But I got Yankee water.
We'll call it vodka.
There we
It's
go.
not water, it's
Vodka.
vodka. But thank you so much. It's important that we recognize the artists and the writers and those people that do create the fandoms. Thank you so much for sharing your talents with us and your time with us. And here's to you, sir. Fans for the Fleet.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. My pleasure, guys.
Very, very cool. Thanks, Graham. All right, guys. So listen, those of you that are watching this live, thank you very much. We just had award-winning, writer, cartoonist, publisher, Graham Nolan, very well known in comic book circles for his work that he's done with the major franchises, and of course now with his own Compass Comics and some really cool stuff out there. I'm going to start delving in myself. He's also going to be at the Garden State Comic Fest, and that's going to be June 22nd and 23rd in Morristown, New Jersey. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. We're not quite done, but
No.
we just wanted to send off Graham Nolan and thank him again for taking the time out.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of so many people with talent. I mean, it's fantastic. The artistry.
That's what we got to stoke it up from those that we can get here, right? So
that's it.
It's all cool, man. And thank everybody that's going to watch this show in the after, right? In the rerun. We've had
in the
tens of
future.
thousands. In the future.
There we
Thank
go.
you for watching. That sounds
Although,
very cool.
The people from Down Under already are in the future, but the people who are not from Down Under that are watching it in the past, in the fast, or the future,
our past, our past. They're gonna watch
the fast or the
past.
Future. We can mix those together.
Future, present. Nancy, Michael Riddick, Donald, and Howard, and Peter, and Joey, Dale, Alejandro, Valdemar, James McCoy, Kenneth Williams, Ricky Franklin, the First Baptist Church is watching. Thank you for watching. Yep. And Zion Temple is watching as well. We're here on Interfleet Broadcasting. We talk about sci-fi, and Chris and I are big, science fiction fans from the 70s and 80s. That's our anchor. We grew up watching this, and so we bring that background into what goes on now. Thank you for watching. Mike DeBrune, thank you for checking in and watching with us. Great supporter and a very, very good friend. Charlene, of course, and Teresa. Let me see, Cindy, Craig, and Abdus, and Rick, my God, Clint, and Cameron, and Kulit, and Faye, James Bell, Pardal, Freddie Nieto. Thank you for joining us live here on Interfleet Broadcasting. We just had a great interview with Graham Nolan, who is publisher of Compass Comics. He's an award-winning writer and cartoonist. He's actually now with a campaign to put out yet another one of his graphic novels, and so
it's extremely it's really interesting that that he went out on his own. I mean, that's quite the challenge / bold move. Some people would just be happy with making ends meet, whereas some people follow their dreams, and that's important.
He had enough, and so with the way the system was, and decided that he was gonna go out and do some of his own stuff. He's written for not only comic books and the like. He's been involved in other stuff as well. So he's very, very super talented, and he is, I would say, a humble guy, and it was really cool having him on. I know that we extended the open door policy that we have for everybody that comes on the show and wishes to come back. He's an American comic book artist, started his career writing, illustrating comic books for DC, Marvel, and Eclipse Comics, eventually leading to a 6-year run illustrating Batman in Detective Comics and co-creating the villain Bane. How about that, right? I mean, that's amazing. That's pretty big. He also has IMDb credit, right? So he's done some of the animated shows as well that are out there. Batman Ninja, Harley Quinn, and Young Justice, just to name a few. So he's got a nice list of IMDb credits to his name as well, which we didn't get into, but maybe we'll do that in the future when he comes back to announce his next big comic book graphic novel that he's putting out. The stuff looks great, man. It's on Indiegogo.
And if you get a chance to support your artists, I mean, support the people who create these fandoms. I know, a couple of bucks here, a couple of bucks there, it does make a difference for these people. It does.
Oh yeah.
It's important that if you like what they have, support them. Artists especially. That's the way they make a living, or that's the way they feel vindicated. They feel vindicated is not
Fulfilled.
the right word. Fulfilled. That it's a goal in their life. It shows them that there are people out there that enjoy what they create.
Absolutely.
So I think it's important that we always support any artists that you think you like. Go ahead and throw them a couple bucks your way. I mean, it's not a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of money involved in the Indiegogo campaign that he has. I mean, there are far the bigger versions, but you can get into it pretty cheaply.
Oh yeah. Clint, Lester, Cameron, let's see who else. Mr. George Zuvalos, award-winning filmmaker, director, writer. Our very own Captain Martin from The Stranded Warrior is watching. Good evening to all.
And if you came in early, you got to see. If you came in today and was watching earlier, we were demonstrating some of the stuff that we're moving over for the Stranded Warrior. So.
Oh yeah, we had
sneak peek. I can't say it right. Accidental sneak peek.
Accidental, yes. It's the
inadvertent,
CG,
inadvertent.
Inadvertent.
One of those.
Yeah, it was the CG portion of the bridge for Battlestar Helios that the Tipsy Toaster is putting together. And that's coming along very, very well. So that's moving.
And don't
moving
with Chuck and everybody else is it's not me. It's a team, especially the people behind the scenes that do that stuff.
The Tower Protocol Resurrection is, I would say, halfway done, and we're also putting in a little bit of CG into it, or special effects, right?
Going to school to learn special effects.
Yep. So that's coming along as well. We also have entered a film festival. The screenplay itself, we'll see how that turns out. I'll give you all the details later on afterwards, after the fact. We'll see, hopefully, fingers crossed with that. Faye and James Bell and Parr, Freddie, B, Timothy, Siegfried, Jesse, Larry, Vo, and Mindo, Smelly, thank you, and Sargi, thank you for joining us live. It's Interfleet Broadcasting. This is the Tipsy Toaster. I am New York Pete.
Thanks, Kim. I knew it was one of those words.
We are, we had just finished interviewing our guest. And it was really, really cool. We got different types of insights into, why and who and where from somebody that's been in the business, Mr. Graham Nolan, who is now, he's created his own comic book publishing. He's publishing his own comic book company. And, he's doing really well with it. The actual series themselves, the various different stories seem very, very interesting. There's an Indiegogo going on now, and I don't know, Chris. Once again, thanks to him, and I do love looking at artists, looking at people who are that so much more talented than I am regarding storylines and art and comic books, and sometimes they just do it straight out of love. And not straight out of, not right. They make a little money off of it, but they really do have a passion, and it's great. It is a great thing. The waiting, Baz. I mean, it
Baz
is
doing his trailer.
Yep. Sean and Witsy, and let's see, Danny and JD. Thanks for joining us live. And George Bauman. It's Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm New York Pete. This is Tipsy Toaster. This is where our backgrounds, growing up in the 70s and 80s, watching all the great TV that was out there, including shows like Miami Vice.
Yes. So, I forgot to download those pictures. So you just got back from Miami, but we need to get those pictures. We have to do a special because
Yes,
That's one of
we're gonna
my
do a special.
very favorite shows,
That's right.
and
That's right.
I think I've mentioned it before on the air that the cinematics, the best in my vision, the best cinematics and mixture of music and the vision and the non-verbal cues was a scene in Miami Vice that I just can go back and watch over and over and over again, and that's the scene where they're driving to it's in the air tonight, it's going on, and it's just I get goosebumps thinking about it. It's one of my very favorite scenes for Miami Vice, or my scenes of everything. It's just so cool. And Pete was down in Miami, and I asked him to run across some of those areas that they filmed. One of my goals is to get to Miami. I'm living my dreams vicariously through Pete there. So he was able to get down to Miami recently, and I was like, God, can you go to this place? Can you get a photo here? Just to be able to go to some of those places where the pilot was shot and different things were shot. So.
Yeah, and we did. And so we will, Mike the Bruin says, love Miami Vice, but they needed to wear socks. Trust me, Mike, when it gets Miami hot, forget about the socks.
I have to tell you, Mike, I'm with you. I'm not a big non-socks person. I gotta wear at least the ankle sock, at least something, but yeah.
Patarakis, thanks for joining us. Raphael, again, thank you. Jeff and Doug, thanks for joining us live here on Interfleet Broadcasting. Tipsy Toaster and myself, we are big fans because we grew up watching 70s and 80s television and movies and cartoons and Saturday morning cartoons and stuff.
Whatever happened to Saturday morning cartoons?
It all unfortunately died. But the idea, Chris, is that you and I, we bring all of that with us here today. So when we talk with whoever's on the show or whatever we talk about when it comes to, sci-fi or might be horror, fantasy, whatever it might be, even like you said, Miami Vice, we watch this stuff. I've listened to a lot of great podcasts. I've watched some streaming shows like ours, great stuff by people that never grew up watching it. It's not the same. Right, you and I, we watched it, we lived it.
Yeah, we lived it,
and that's what we bring. So, and a lot of you that grew up with it, and a lot of you that have gone back and watched it, right? We bring that to our little world here, and we love talking about this stuff, and we do trivia sometimes. And Chris, since the Miami Vice is one of your favorites, I mean, and it's a long list of favorites, but
we grew
up watching it.
Yeah, that was the one I remember the most.
We'll do a show.
Watching at night with my mom and dad. Every it was, I can't remember what days it was on, but it was every episode we'd sit down and watch it every night together. So
okay, so I just wanted to mention real quick. There's a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. One of them, HR Puffin stuff. Absolutely. The Fall Guy. I don't know if any of you, other than the Tipsy Toaster, I saw the Fall Guy, and it is full. Oh my God, it was great. It was absolutely great. You told me more than once, Tipsy Toaster, that you got to go see it, and I don't regret it. It was a fantastic movie. There's a lot of Easter eggs in it, and there's a lot of nods to the original. We're gonna have Eric Larson, who was him and his family were a part of the red carpet premiere in Los Angeles. He put up a lot of the pictures. I had an interaction with him, and he will be coming on to the show. He will be coming here to Interfleet Broadcasting again, and we're going to talk about his reactions. He actually was a child actor, and he was in an episode of the original Fall Guy. So he's going to come onto our show. We're going to talk all about it. We love having him on and talking, and we do trivia. So that's part of the tradition. That
would be fun with the Fall Guy trivia.
Oh my God, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to set it up so that when Eric Larson comes on, we'll talk about the Fall Guy and him watching it and his family going, and then we'll do some trivia. So that's in the mix, guys. That's coming. We're going to be scheduling that.
Did he take photos and stuff there? That would
Yeah,
be so
which he
cool to
put up.
see behind the scene photos.
He put a lot of stuff up on Facebook. He contacted me before they went, so he
Oh
sent
wow.
me. We exchanged information. We spoke, and he had gotten a nod that he was going to be going to the premiere, and at the time he wasn't sure if everyone, family wide was going to be going or if it was just him. Turns out that the family all went, and so I said to him, please, whatever you do, if you get a chance, take the pictures, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll bring
I
them
mean,
up
you're only
afterwards.
going to live this thing one time. I mean,
And he did.
yeah.
He took a bunch of pictures. I believe the bulk of them were all up on the Facebook page. And hey, as a matter of fact, if you haven't friended the Glenn Larson social media page,
Gal,
you
yeah.
have to, because he was asking for cosplay, all the Battlestar Galactica cosplay guys.
Oh my
and
gosh, there's so much of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the pictures that were up are nothing next to what we've actually done. So if you get a chance, go onto the Facebook page, the Glenn A. Larson page, and put up all the pictures, man. Show them that we're out there. Let's make a splash.
Paul said he's coming down to Fan Expo, and really, Paul? I didn't know that.
Who is
Eric Larson?
He's going to Fan Expo in Dallas? No kidding.
Ooh.
Oh wow, did not know that. We got to reach out and talk to him about that.
Yeah,
I
that's
was not
that's
aware.
amazing.
Oh, that's big. That is big. Hey, let us know if any of you are going to meet with, if you're going to the Dallas Expo. Then you got to go and you have to go see Eric. You got to tell him that it's from IFB. So let us know. Send out messages. Any of you that are going.
And if you
So
get a
Eddie
chance,
and
go
Nancy,
see. I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, I'll just wait for it to come out on streaming," and I know it's already out on streaming, but
Yeah.
you really need to see it in the movie theater. I think.
It's worth it. It's worth it, guys.
It's
for
one of
sure.
those. I went and saw Star Wars multiple times.
Yeah.
This one, I guess because I'm a big Glenn Larson fan, I think I would go see this one in theaters a couple of times for sure.
Right.
I would love it to go see. It. They did a good job at it. They did a good nod
did a
to
great
all
job,
of it.
man.
Yeah, they did a great nod to the original. They did a great nod to the stuntmen that they don't really get recognized enough. So
For what they
and
do.
the
That
end
is
and the
correct.
ending
Yeah.
was fantastic when they showed some of the stuntmen and some of the people inside the show. It's just gotta go see it. It gives you warm and fuzzies. What do you got, Pete?
Well, I wanted to thank Mr. Steve Donoso, who's been a guest on IFB multiple times, and he puts out the Shadowed Circle. Those of you that have watched our show here, IFB, you all know that I'm a big Shadow fan, and so we had Mr. Steve Donoso come on. In the process, Steve Donoso reached out to us last time, actually, after his interview. He reached out to me and he asked if I would actually contribute to the Shadowed Circle Compendium. And it's just been published. And I wanted to recognize Steve Donoso and the Shadowed Circle. Thank you for including my humble contribution. But also, I just wanted to just thank you again for including myself and the Tipsy Toaster, Chris, and IFB in the acknowledgments in the book itself. So thank you very much. You know that we support here, all that kind of genre stuff, including, things that are specific to me. Like, I'm a big fan of The Shadow. I'm a big fan of Kolchak, the Night Stalker. The Tipsy Toaster is an exceptional fan of, for example, V and Logan's Run and Miami Vice. And, so each one of us brings certain things to the show that, mean a little bit more. For example, I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan. Chris is not as big a fan as I am, and that's okay. So we complement each other. So
Love it,
the
but
Shadow,
not as big a fan.
yeah, so the Shadow is one of my favorite superheroes, all-time superheroes.
And I was
And-
never lucky enough to be involved with that as much as Pete was.
Oh yeah, my God, I love the Shadow, and so now my little contribution is in the compendium, the Shadowed Circle compendium that's just been published. And as soon as I get the hard copy, I'll bring it up. I'll show it to you guys. I got a PDF because I was part of the campaign and I contributed. And Steve, we're gonna have you back, Mr. Steve Donoso, that is the editor and the might behind this, which is incredible. It keeps one of the fandoms alive, because that's what we're about, the fandoms. So thank you very, very much for doing that, guys. And I don't know. I think it's
we're coming. We're starting to move out of broadcast range.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you joining us either live or after the fact. Either way, it's fun to have a nice group of people that could talk fandom, information in regards to new stuff, information in regards to books and artwork and everything. It's fantastic to feel part of this community. So you're our brothers and sisters and in Battlestar and everything else. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And then until we come back into broadcast range, which will be next Thursday. Don't forget that. I should throw. Oh, I gotta fix this one because it doesn't say X. So follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, X now. And that way we just can all stay together. We don't make any money off of this. We're just looking to have some fun. So thanks a lot. Until next time, Thursday, 8 o'clock. Next Thursday, 8 o'clock. We will see you then. And last parting words is we hope that you enjoyed the show. And, of course, fans fuel the fleet.
Here's to you guys, everybody. Stay safe and keep the faith. Fans fuel the fleet.
That's gonna work great, man. 10,